Winter's coming.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. Winter is Coming concludes, sort of, with a character who is a bit more well known than the ones we've previously seen.
Meet Iceberg. His first figure was released in 1986 with all original body parts. And he's a good example of why I refer to 86 as one of the golden years of G.I. Joe. The figure has 5 different colors, and they all match together nicely. It's a real palette cleanser after the neon garbage from last week. And look at the detailing. With the exception of the zippers, everything on the chest is painted. That's awesome! This figure is pretty much perfect.
The gun on his chest is pointing at his crotch, isn't it? Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with these guys? Just to be 100% sure, I did ask a professional about this, and yeah, carrying a gun like that is a bad idea. Still, I'm nitpicking here. The figure really is that good, and one of the best cold weather ones in the line. The only bit of criticism I have is regarding his accessories. Well, accessory really, since he only came with one.
And that's the problem!
Most figures of this time came with a whole set tailor-made for the character. Iceberg just got one rifle. That's weak, dude. Plus, it's kinda weird looking. If anything, it reminds me of Kane the Longshot from Trigun. Even though this isn't a sniper rifle. Yeah, Iceberg really got shortchanged here. No skis, no snowshoes, or anything. He got a second figure in 1993, again with all original body parts. And yeah, his head is almost completely yellow.
Can't really not see that.
It completely distracts you from the rest of the figure. By the way, I do love the expression he has on his face. It's like he's saying, "Yep, I'm wearing a yellow baklava. I'm not happy about it either." This actually brings up a point I forgot to mention last time with Snowstorm's neon colors. They, as well as this baklava, actually do make sense in a way. When you're out doing winter sports, you do want bright colored clothing so that you are easy to spot if things go wrong. So, in a way, these colors make sense.
Except these guys are soldiers.
And as such, are supposed to be camouflaged. Yeah, those colors really don't help with that. Well, I suppose Iceberg could hide in yellow snow. Speaking of yellow, the ammo on his chest is bright yellow. That's just stupid. They should have been copper colored. It's a shame because the chest is nicely detailed. Hell, the camo pattern that's rendered useless by the bright yellow even looks festive and Christmassy.
Appropriate for the season.
It's really a shame they didn't apply the camo to his pants. It's only on his chest. As far as his accessories go, he came with a bunch of ones that were previously released with other figures, as well as a generic rocket launcher. But it isn't as bad as Snowstorm. The rifle and handgun came from Blizzard, so they make sense at least. And he did get a cool snowboard on top of that. It's a mixed bag, but positive overall. And those were the only 2 toys Iceberg got in the original line. He did, however, get one more figure in 1997.
Yeah, 1997. The worst year as far as G.I. Joe toys go.
And, to my immense surprise, it's actually a pretty damn good figure. Plenty of detailing and has decent quality. There's just one bad thing and one weird thing. The bad is the rivets on his shoulders aren't painted, the same goes for all the 97 series. The weird thing are his eyes. He looks like he's rolling them. Like he's saying, "God damn it, why did I have to be in the 97 line?" Other than that, it's pretty neat. He's also got that weird gun thing back, only in black this time. Honestly, all these figures are pretty great, and although the 93 version is the weakest, I still like it. Quite a welcome change from last week.
With that, it's time to talk about the character, starting with the file cards.
Iceberg's real name is Nash. Wait, Nash? Man, dude really went through some changes since the 80s. Anyway, his main characteristic is he hates warm weather, making him the polar opposite of Snowstorm from last week.
Polar opposite! Get it? I'm so sorry.
But yeah, all three file cards drone on and on about how much he hates the heat and loves the cold. And nothing much else, really. He joined the army specifically so they'd send him to Alaska. Huh. Lucky for him, Colonel Courage wasn't in charge at the time, or he'd have ended up in Death Valley. His second file card does add that he loves using his rocket-powered snowboard. Because of course it's rocket-powered.
Hey, what do you want? It was the 90s. Everything had to be extreme.
And this apparently is the most extreme thing they could come up with. As far as the comic goes, to my annoyance, I can be brief. As far as I can tell, he doesn't do much but make glorified cameos. And here's the weird thing. The 1986 toys started showing up in the comic in issue 44 at the beginning of, 1986. Iceberg doesn't appear until 1988 when his toy was discontinued. Unless you count the Order of Battle issues, but those just reprint the text from file cards. So yeah, Iceberg didn't get much love in the comics.
It's a real shame.
He did get more exposure in the cartoon though, and they got across his love for the cold and hatred of the heat. He first appeared in the Arise Serpentor Arise miniseries, along with most of the 1986 lineup. He was in a handful of episodes after that, but there was one in particular that featured him. Hell, he even got a love interest, sorta. It was called Iceberg Goes South.
And I'll say no more of that here, because it's the next review coming up. It's gonna hurt.
I will say they gave him a slight Jamaican accent in the cartoon, even though he was from Texas. Could be his parents were immigrants, or they were going for a subtle Jamaican bobsled team thing here. Though this was years before Cool Runnings, but during the actual team's run. And that was Iceberg. 2 great toys, 1 good one, but a character that was largely ignored in the comic. As for the cartoon, well, we'll have to see next time.
See you later, everybody, and happy holidays.